Who's in goal tonight? Ivan played so well up in Winnipeg.
Ersson. You trying to push for Feds to start?
No, I'm just curious. Usually when a guy plays well against one team, maybe you give him another chance.
No, Ersson goes tonight. Going right back with him.
Are you guys holding anybody out tonight, or you expect the same lineup?
Yeah, we're going with the same lineup. Johnny's out, and yeah. Anticipation.
Yeah. You're probably ready to get this over with as much as anyone.
I don't think about it. Yeah, I don't think about it, really. I coach each and every day. Whatever comes my way at my desk, we deal with it. So, no, I haven't thought about it at all.
Garner Hathaway's still not an option for you
Yeah,
guys.
he's still not ready.
Cam York, I remember when he got hurt earlier in the season, you said, he's a guy that you were afraid that you were gonna miss him for a stretch. Where are you at on his maybe season as a whole? I know last game maybe was a little bit not his best, but where do you see him? I mean, is he still a guy that's trying to kind of prove he should be on the bus, I guess?
For me, yes. Yeah, and I'm not sure if it was because from the injury, since the injury, his shoulder, I think he's been terribly inconsistent. Yeah, so we're still looking. He has some good and listen, he blocks shots. He all that stuff. It's much appreciated. I think he's been inconsistent.
You think the injury is part of the reason why?
I don't know. I don't know. You check in with him every once in a while. No player is going to say it does. But there's spurts in his game, and you see the level that I've seen before. Like I said before, when he got to that level, that's when he screwed, because he has that, and you want it all the time. We have not gotten it all the time.
John, you mentioned just flushing that last game. As a coach, do you look at the tape at all?
I didn't watch 1 second of that game. It's the first time this year that I did not watch a game, and that was it.
Pretty convinced that there's no point in watching it. Let's just move
I
forward.
don't want to. I don't even want to. I just didn't want to watch it. And there's probably some good things in there, but I just didn't think it was worthwhile. I just want a fresh look. I want to approach him the right way, and if I watched that, I wouldn't approach him the right way.
You've talked about how much you trust Sam Ersson's resiliency and his mental, fortitude, but he has now had 2 straight underwhelming games. Are you keeping a closer eye on him now to identify if this is becoming a trend?
It's a huge 20 games for that position, because we're still evaluating Sam. So for him, it's a huge 20 games. I'm going right back with him tonight because he deserves to go back in. He had from December. I mean, there was a stretch there that he was really good. So it's there. I'm always confident that he's going to answer. I think tonight's a big game for him because half a pit and just the start of the last game, it just didn't look like him at all. So I'm anxious to see him play. It's a pretty important game for him.
Moving to another defenseman, Jamie Drysdale. It's been pretty clear over the last maybe month or so that he's making progress. But as a coach, what specifically are you seeing him doing better that he wasn't doing at the start of the year?
Not thinking. That may sound silly, but I shouldn't put it that. He's making a decision and going with it. When the first, I'm not sure how long before it started clicking in. It was like he had about 10 different thoughts going on in his head and ended up in between in all of them. He's made mistakes, but the thing that I liked about him, he's so much more aggressive in his decision making, and he goes with it. His legs are quicker. I just think because I think he's, at least in my mind, his mind is free. You may ask him what's happened, but that is, I think he's just more clear-headed as far as his decision-making, and it allows him to play at a different pace. He just looks like a National Hockey Leaguer to me, in how he moves his legs, how he escapes, decisions with the puck, blowing up plays where it could be a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2 because he hesitated, but he blows them up and they don't even develop into a play. Those are the things that I think he's improved on. So very encouraging. Not enough sample size to say this is what he is, but I think he's beginning to understand that rover role and that mindset of just, I'm going to go play. And I'm going to make the call at that particular time and live with the consequence, whether it be good or bad.
Is that something that just can happen over time, the more reps you get, or was there like a come to Jesus moment internally where it clicked for him?
I don't know, but I certainly at that position, reps, he just, as I've said, he hasn't played a lot in this league. He's been injured quite a bit, and he still has that position. You just never know when the player matures into being who he's supposed to be. But I think he's on the right road. I do. And I do think it's reps. I do think it's constant hearing from the coach. Just play. Get out of being in between. I think Shawzy's done a terrific job with them that way. And that a right-handed defenseman, and not a big guy, we all know that, but to be able to rove and get up the ice, make things happen, I think is really important. The question for me is, how does he see the ice? And that's going to take time. That's going to take time for me to evaluate, and for him to feel more of letting the game come to him instead of him chasing the game.
Is Bobby Brink? I remember talking to him before the season. I think he said he put on 5 pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but watching him, is he just stronger? Is he just stronger? Not just the checking, but maybe stronger on the puck, stronger in battles, and how did he maybe develop that?
Yeah, I think he's probably matured and stronger physically. I think he's changed his mindset, and I think he's stronger mentally as far as what he has to do to stay in the National Hockey League, what he has to do to get the ice time here with this team. Found a nice spot with that line. Has forced him, playing with those two guys, has forced him to join in how to play away from the puck. I'm sure there are conversations between the other two guys who are very good away from the puck that has helped him. So he's just kind of evolved into a guy that you're hoping to get goals from, and an offensive guy, to a guy that I'm putting in key situations to play away from the puck and hopefully develop some offense. Like to see some more offense out of him. Like to see him be more of a bigger role on a power play, although he's not really on the first unit right now. I'd like to see that develop, but he's been part of a very important line for us, and I think has kind of morphed into, I've got to play hard. If I'm going to play with these two guys, I've got to play hard. I think it's been a really good marriage there.
John, with the lines of the Cates line and Couturier's line, it's been pretty good offensively, but you have Konechny, who hasn't quite been there for you offensively recently. Do you think of trying to change things up to get him going at all?
Yeah, I did the towards the end of the game. I'm going back with the same lines. I'm not sure where TK is right now, I'm not sure whoever I put with him, it's going to help him. I think he has to help himself. And talking about Jamie, that's TK. He's got a lot of things running around in his head. You watched his shootout effort the other, I forget when it was, Winnipeg, right? My God, that's just a guy thinking too much. So I trust him. I trust he's going to work himself out of it. I'm going to give him the ice time. I did the other night, bounced him around. I think he's going to have to work out of it himself. I think he realizes that too. So I just don't want to screw up those two lines. I think Misha's found a good spot there with Coots and Tip, and I'm not gonna screw around with the Cates line. So TK, Kuzi, Lotz, whoever may be the middle, they've got to figure it out.